Good evening, everyone. Uh, they gave me the 4th of July weekend off. I'm still celebrating because I still have my America sucks. So, my family figured out that I had some days off, and they said, hey, Vegas? So I said, Vegas. So, I spent the weekend in Vegas, and it was alright. I gambled for the first time. Anyways, I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about the travel disaster that was my trip from Las Vegas here to Waterville Valley, New Hampshire. Oh, yeah. So, I leave on the 3rd, July 3rd, in the morning. The flight, no problems at all. It's from Las Vegas to Newark. And maybe half an hour before landing, I start noticing that the plane is going around in circles. And then the pilot comes on the intercom and says, as you may have noticed, we are going around in circles. There seems to be some severe weather in Newark. So we're trying to figure out where to land. And out of nowhere, we land in the middle of nowhere in this airport in New York State called Stewart International Airport. But the thing is that when we arrived randomly at Stewart International Airport, at that moment, my plane to Manchester, New Hampshire, was going to leave 1 hour from then. So I realized, oh no, it's going to be a hassle to get back to New Hampshire. What are we going to do? And they said, alright folks, looks like the storm has receded. We should be arriving to Newark in around 15 minutes. Perfect! 15 minutes later, we arrive at Newark. Right at the nick of time. This is literally around 10 minutes before the boarding time would have started to board the Manchester plane. So I'm running to go see the screen of the departures. Manchester. The flight was cancelled. Because of this stupid weather, a whole bunch of planes were either delayed or cancelled. So what am I going to do? Well, I'm going to go to the customer service to see if I could rebook another flight to Manchester the next day for free. So I go over to the customer service line, and it is insane. Because there's 4 computers, but there's only one person manning them. So there's this long-ass line that barely even moves. So I'm there. Maybe 10 minutes of waiting, maybe 1 or 2 people go ahead. And I figured, no, I'm not going to wait this long. Let's see if I can do this on my phone. So I take out my phone, I Google United Airlines. That's the last time I fly with them. United Airlines, what to do, flight canceled. And I follow the steps, and I couldn't rebook a flight on July the 4th to Manchester because no flights were available that day. So the next best option would have been to take a plane to Boston and then take a bus to Manchester and from there take an Uber to Waterville Valley. The next challenge was where to spend the night. So I was looking around reasonably priced hotels, and I found one with the fanciest name for a reasonable price. It was called the Wyndham Gardens, like $100. Okay, sure. So I arrive at the place, and it's okay. It's somewhere between a motel and a standard run-of-the-mill hotel. It had a bed. It had a hot shower. It had a TV. I was happy. So I just crashed because I was exhausted, and to rest the night before my flight would have left the next afternoon at around 1 p.m. Thing is, I forgot to set my alarm. So I woke up at 11 a.m. and I'm panicking, right? And not even time to bathe. And I was close to the airport, so normally 2 hours before the flight wouldn't have scared me. But the thing is, this is the 4th of July. naturally, there's a whole bunch of people wanting to go see their families on the 4th of July. So I haul ass out of the hotel, or towards the lobby to check out, and then I see the shuttle to get to the airport right out the door. Yes, yes, this is perfect. This is so timely. And then it leaves right before I get to it. It leaves. So I asked the receptionist, so how often do they come around? Oh, every half hour. No time for that. So I summoned an Uber to take me from the Wyndham Gardens over to the Newark Liberty Airport. Like I figured, there was a long line at security. And I was already preparing, already in the line, just taking off my belt, taking off my shoes, putting stuff from my pockets in my shoes. I was ready to go. And I made it across to the other side, and I ran to the gates. And I made it with about 10 minutes to spare before they started boarding. So I took the flights from Newark Liberty to Boston Logan, and no problems there. While I was waiting with the 10 minutes before boarding the plane, I bought a ticket for a Concorde coach bus from Boston South Station over to Manchester, and the Uber picked me up. While I was in Boston, I needed to kill all these hours before the bus would take me to New Hampshire. So I was in the one place that sort of kind of knew me well, and that is the courtyard in the Marriott Courtyard by the Boston Logan Airport. I frequently stay nights there. So finally, the time comes for me to take the airport shuttle back to the airport, and then take the MBTA Silver Line from the airport to the South Station. And I get there, I walk from the train station over to the bus station, and there's a whole bunch of police and firefighters. And they're telling us to not move. So, but I was already going up the stairs to get to the floor with all where the buses are. And like, hey, nobody move. So everybody on the stairs is like, well, what's going on? As it turns out, some idiot got stuck in the elevator. So they had to turn off all the electricity to somehow rescue the guy, which meant that all buses were grounded. This story keeps getting worse and worse. Or not worse and worse, just it's a series of unfortunate events. But my bus was going to leave at 7. Then at 6:45, finally, they rescue the guy, operations resume to normal, and I go to where the bus normally stops to go to New Hampshire, and it's not there. Then at 6:55, a Concorde bus shows up, and I'm thinking, oh, this is it. I knock on the window. It opens. I say, hey, is this the bus to New Hampshire? No, this is the bus to Portland, Maine. And, well, do you know where it is? No, ask the information desk. Oh, okay, I'll go ask the information desk. Rude. I didn't say that. So I go over, around 6:57, and I said, hey, bus to New Hampshire, where is it? Oh, it's at that gate over there. Literally the one gate that's around the corner and hidden from view. That's not the typical place for it to leave. It's there. I don't know why. So I haul ass. I get on. And literally the minute next, it leaves. So when it drops me off at Manchester, North London, but Manchester, the Uber picks me up, and for better or for worse, this was the most interesting Uber driver that I have ever ridden with. I'm going to give you the spark notes of what he said. This guy says that at age 6, he started selling blueberries in his front yard, and he made $120 in the 60s on one day, and that inspired him to keep on doing it. So much so that he is currently the biggest blueberry farmer in the state of Maine. And apart from that, after college, he got recruited by the Secret Service. He worked under President Reagan. He protected Carolyn Kennedy. What else did he say? He owns 0.5% of the entire cryptocurrency Ethereum. This he's loaded. Oh yeah, and he's considered an enemy of the state for the stupidest reason. So, while he was working with the Secret Service, he decided to quit because he didn't want to kill a man. So, in the place where he was working, there was a room where it had technology and very confidential stuff. He claimed that while he was there in the 80s, that they already had the equivalent of an Apple iPhone. That'd be technology 30 years ahead of its time. 20, 30 years. And the protocol was that if someone were to show up there without, permission or without an appointment, or someone unexpected, the protocol was for the Secret Service to shoot that person. So the Uber, let's call him, shows up, and he's, nobody expected him there. So he steps across the line, and everybody, because they're coworkers, they're like, oh, you crossed the line. So it's like, oh no, I guess you have to shoot me. Like, the protocol was to shoot him because he was unannounced, but they're coworkers. They're obviously not going to shoot him because they know who he is. So that day, he turned in his resignation because he didn't want to kill someone on the job. But the thing is, because he crossed the line earlier that day, he was considered an enemy of the state. So he says that every now and then, Secret Service agents to this day still visit him, just to keep an eye on him. Oy, oy, oy. So then at around 10 p.m., he eventually makes it here to Waterville Valley and parks in front of the hotel. And right before he unlocks the door to let me go, out of nowhere, he starts spewing this conspiracy theory of how George Bush Sr. was responsible for the JFK assassination. And it's very detailed and thorough, what's the word? Connections between this event and this photograph and the video of them killing Kennedy. His stance was that it was Bush Sr. that did it. But at that point, I just wanted to go. The thing is, it was a cool thing to listen to, but it was a long day. I just wanted to sleep. At 10:40, while my eyes were just battling to stay awake, I'm like, dude, I gotta go. It's been a long day. I just want to rest. So he's like, okay, I'll let you go. But regardless, I gave him a fat tip, and I warily go to the hotel, go to my room. I put the card on the door, and it won't open. The nightmare continues. So, oh no. So I go over to the lobby. No one's at the front desk. I ring the bell. Bing! No one's there. Bing, bing, bing! No one. So I had to wait there on the very comfy chair, trying not to fall asleep. And finally some receptionists show up and oh, hello. You don't know how happy I am to see you. I'm trying to get into my room. It's floor 12. Can you please let me in? And they could tell that I'm exhausted at this point. So they said, "Oh, of course, of course." So I told them, "Hey, I'm generally not a negative person, but this has been a travel nightmare. You don't know how much it took me to get to this point from Las Vegas, Nevada. And I am so happy to be here." And they said, "Oh, we're happy to have you too. Here's your card." So I go up to the room. I put the card on the door. I threw everything on the floor. And I rested. And that is how I survived and conquered the travel disaster of 2018. So if this happens to you, just roll with it. Find plan B, plan C. Do whatever it takes to get to your destination. And don't be negative about it, because no, the point is to find solutions, goddammit, not to dwell on all of these unexpected circumstances that keep popping up. Just roll with it. Roll with it. So have a good one. Take care. Kick ass.